Psychologically realistic villains can be evil, so write them that way. A common writing mistake that I see amateur authors make, and some more experienced writers as well, is to write their villains as morally complex, which usually means confused good people before writing them as evil. When I tried to explain this, I don't think most people really got it. My explanation could have been a lot better, but I also think that a lot of people got distracted by the word evil in a way that I think is really unhelpful to writing. The problem is that, for most people, evil means someone who is incomprehensible and has zero sympathetic qualities. Fire Lord Ozai, who kills a lot of innocent people and tries to kill his own son, is evil. Azula, who is totally in favor of killing lots of innocent people, including her brother, is morally complex because she has mommy issues and is under a lot of relatable stress by the end of the series. Azula is literally a murdering psychopath who envisions and wholeheartedly supports a plan to torch the entire Earth Kingdom. But she cries about mommy, so she isn't evil. In his blog post, Robin Hansen discusses how a movie that portrays Hitler as someone who cries and is nice to his coworkers makes critics uncomfortable with the humanizing of Hitler, even though the movie in no way disguises that Hitler launches World War II and the Holocaust. As far as I can tell, the basic issue people have when discussing evil is the idea that evil implies incomprehensibility. An evil person's actions and motivations must be something that a good person cannot comprehend. Hansen quotes the New Yorker Review emphasizing my point. By emphasizing the painfulness of Hitler's defeat, Gans has certainly carried out the stated ambition. He has made the dictator into a plausible human being. As Hansen observes, no remotely realistic depiction of real bad people would satisfy these critics. I mean, do they think that Hitler wasn't a plausible human being? Surely they aren't denying that he was literally a human, wasn't he? It's possible that he may have been an extremely unusual human, the morally bad equivalent of a Robert Wadlow, but there is approximately zero biographical evidence in favor of this. Hitler seems to have fit well into the normal range of human motivation and behavior by all accounts. Is plausibility inconsistent with evil? If I can empathize with someone, if I can see the way they act and be like, yup, that's how people are, does that mean they aren't evil? If so, for Hitler to be evil, when he realizes he's going to lose the war, he needs to start screaming, more blood, death, horror, despair, the suffering of children and the throating of Satan's cock. But if he cries and is like, I thought waging war against all of Europe and killing millions of innocents was going to work out so well, he is morally complex. Ozai wants to kill millions just because, so he's evil. Azula wants to kill millions in part because she has daddy issues, so she's morally complex. I think Downfall shows just how much we require evil people to be incomprehensible. Suppose someone offers Hitler some ice cream while he's signing orders to kill innocents. If he's evil, then we demand that he recoil and shriek, ice cream brings pleasure and sweetness. I hate it. Destroy ice cream. Burn, burn, burn. Worship, despair and hatred and death. If he's morally complex, then he'll ask for sprinkles on his cookie dough ice cream while working out the logistics to kill 6 million people. On the flip side, we demand the same of our heroes. Of course, we know that Abraham Lincoln took some serious poops, just like we know Hitler was a normal guy. Yet somehow, Abraham Lincoln seems like less of a hero for taking occasionally painful shits, even though that should make him more heroic. Hitler liked ice cream, and Abraham Lincoln took some nasty 19th century shits. Does anyone disagree with these statements? Yet suddenly it's like Hitler didn't kill millions of people, and Lincoln was sort of a chump. Words mean whatever you want. I can't prove that evil and psychological normality are compatible with each other. I just think it's useful to be able to call mass murderers evil, even if they are psychologically normal. So why do we demand that the word evil be restricted to people who would rather rape babies while playing Led Zeppelin records backwards than eat ice cream? Robin Hanson says it's because of signaling, because he's Robin Hanson, and that's just how he does things. Some of it is the embarrassment of empathizing with those we despise and realizing that we are not so different from them. But I think there is another important reason that often goes overlooked. Words are a call to action. There is food over there. It's only interesting as far as it causes people to go look for food there. If talking never translated into doing anything, there would be no reason not to say things like 2 + 2 = 3. It is not like it would ever mess up the accounting. We are not doing accounting. As far as I can tell, for most people, calling something evil implies stupid evil action on the part of the listeners. Evil things should be met with maximum violence regardless of whether it is good to do so or whether it is effective to do so. If something is evil, you better immediately start acting evil and stupid yourself, or else you're on evil's side. Take the question of whether Islam is evil. Suppose, and this isn't an actual assertion, just suppose like it's a hypothetical, that the Islamic faith is really regressive and messed up and incompatible with liberal democratic values in fundamental ways, and it needs to change if there is going to be peace in the world and rights for women and such. Is it evil? As far as I can tell, the way evil versus culture or something, I don't know, works is this way. If you think Islam is evil, the solution is carpet bomb in the Middle East. If you think Islam is morally complex, the solution is education and stuff. Debates that whether Islam is evil are debates that whether we ought to bomb them to pieces. This makes sense from an evil is inhumanity perspective. If Muslims are inhuman, educating them seems pretty unrealistic. We can't educate grizzly bears into society, just kill them and maybe keep a few in zoos. If Muslims are human, educating them seems pretty realistic. To me, either way, the question of the evil of Islam or the evil of Muslims is not affected, and this isn't a take on said question. Of course, Osama bin Laden was human and sympathetic, and of course, he was evil. There's an old, cracked article about how it's uncomfortable to think about Osama bin Laden being a guy who likes volleyball and gets boners like everyone else. Like suddenly it makes him a human being instead of pure evil, and now we shouldn't kill him. Maybe we should even let him win. I mean, once we admit he likes volleyball and gets boners, what's even the difference between him and us? I mean, yeah, the 3,000 dead people and the insane regressive ideology of conquest and submission, but volleyball and boners. This is the Christopher Columbus dynamic. Somehow, the idea that he was a great explorer and a seriously talented person whose actions kick-started the modern age is considered to be incompatible with the idea that he was a very huge race. Oh shit! They are compatible. Columbus was a charming and smart dude, and an enslaving, murdering monster at the same time. He didn't have to switch modes or anything. He was both simultaneously because they're completely compatible. But that's the issue. If Christopher Columbus was an impressive person who would probably personally charm many of us, then we should celebrate Columbus Day and feel proud of American history. If Christopher Columbus was evil, then fuck Columbus Day, fuck America, fuck everything. My claim is that this debate makes no fucking sense. Hitler deserves to die, but he likes ice cream. Huh? What? Of course, We need to make a decision about whether to celebrate Columbus Day. I just don't think it makes sense to say either yes, because he didn't literally suck Satan's cock all day, or no, because he did in fact suck Satan's cock all day, when a book. It's a weird thing for the debate to turn on. I think there are evil things in the world, and I hesitate to say so because I predict, from experience, the reaction will be, no, let us not do this evil stupid thing you are proposing. Or even worse, yes, let us do this evil stupid thing you are proposing, and I will want to say, I'm not saying let's be evil and stupid ourselves, I'm just saying that thing over there is evil, but this will fall on deaf ears. I mean, if someone is evil, surely the only logical course of action is to destroy them with maximum violence. That is the Nazi punching thing today. Should we punch Nazis? Everything seems to turn on whether they are Nazis, and therefore pure evil, not on whether punching people is okay or effective. But I don't think it matters whether they're evil. I think it matters whether punching people is good and smart. Should I invite Jin to the barbecue? Well, he's evil. Oh, so I should kill him and his whole fucking family. What the fuck? It's like Sodom and Gomorrah. God didn't have to kill any of them. He could have made them moral people in so many ways. But Abraham doesn't say, God, what the hell? Just make them good people. Or give them the nicer Bible you are going to write in 3,000 years, or do anything but fucking murder them all. What the fuck is wrong with you? Instead, the debate is like this. God says, see those people over there? They are pure evil, so I'm gonna kill them all, even though I have so many better ways to deal with the problem. Abraham replies, but what if they are not evil? God responds, just to clarify, if they are evil, you think it is totally fine that I am going to obliterate them. Abraham confirms, yes. God declares, they are all evil. Abraham stares back and say, Holocaust the shit out of them, dude. Why do we work this way? We really struggle to empathize with evil. We are constantly shocked when power corrupts. Cops, communist dictators, shitty managers, the list goes on for miles. It keeps catching us by surprise. Even though we know power corrupts, then we know most cops and so on must be psychologically normal people. We keep being like, but why would they do that? Racism is sometimes a substitute for evil in these conversations. Their motives are not as ours. But their motives are as ours. Power corrupts. Ah, but power corrupts. It changes you. I don't want to lynch a person for failing to step off the sidewalk for me to pass. But put me in a racist southern society, and suddenly I will. When the revolutionary obtains power, he will find that it is sweet, and he will try to hold on to it. Perhaps still thinking that this is for the good of the tribe. He will find that it's his right to take many wives. Surely he deserves some reward for his labor, and to help his children, who are more deserving of help than others. But the young revolutionary has no foreknowledge of this in the beginning, when he sets out to overthrow the awful people who currently rule the tribe, the evil mutants whose intentions are obviously much less good than his own. Just that thought, not even the intention, not even wondering whether to do it, but just the thought that I could present only my side of the story and deliberately make the offending reporter look bad, and that no one would call me on it. Just that thought triggered this huge surge of positive reinforcement, this tremendous high comparable to the high of discovery or the high of altruism. I don't want to hurt people, but when I think about being in a position where I can totally do whatever I want to people, suddenly I kind of do want to hurt people. If they deserve it, I mean, or if they disrespect me, I mean, I can't take that lying down, can I? Or just if It just feels like I ought to. Like if they look at me funny, or if they're ugly, or if they annoy me in any way, or just, I don't know, if I just feel like it. But I don't want to hurt people. Give me the opportunity to. So maybe this is why we associate evil with psychological abnormality. The necessary condition to psychologically understand evil is to be in a position to do evil. Since most of us aren't, we're baffled by evil, even though evil is very normal and a part of all of us. It's like sex. It's hard to understand why a lot of weird sex acts are sexy unless and until you're doing it, at which point, hell yeah, don't stop baby. And like sexy feelings, once you've wiped off the screen and thrown away the coconut, you no longer remember why you were watching that weird video. It just seems gross and even boring. How are you getting off to that? Why do we interpret claims of evil as a call to do evil, stupid things? Maybe calling things evil is exercising the power circuit in the brain, and the power circuit is really evil and loves destroying things. However, this is not how the brain works. It is no different from asking why saying, "Hey baby, want to come back to my place?" Gets people thinking about sex. You haven't said anything about sex. But I mean, what's the point unless we... But what this means is that evil is comprehensible to the evil. That is why you can write your villains as pure evil and still keep them as real, complex people. Azula is a very relatable person until she starts trying to kill people. But to Azula herself, she is still relatable. And in fact, so she is to her close friends as well, and to those who sympathizes with her actions. And to us, the audience, who understand her and enjoy watching her work, even though we disagree with her goals. Those who know her and are in similar positions don't see her change from person to murderer, as there is no change. A horny person is not a transformed person, or a less than human person. They are just horny. So please stop tying yourself into knots trying to write psychologically realistic villains. Evil is psychologically realistic. Genghis Khan, Hitler, and that shit manager at that shitty job you had when you were 19 were all realistic people. Your villain can burn down the village, cackle about how much he loves killing people, and still be a normal, complex, realistic person. Those people existed, and still do in some places, and maybe still will in the future. If you cannot write them so that they feel real and relatable to the reader, you just suck as a writer.